Hello and good evening once again, everyone. I am Riya Chakraborty here with another SDG goal. So, just to give you all a brief introduction about SDG goals and what they are and how many goals are included within the SDG. For those who have not joined us till now and also are joining us for the first time, the Sustainable Development Goals are a call of action by all countries, be it rich, be it poor, be it middle income, to promote prosperity while protecting the planet. They organize that ending poverty must go hand in hand with strategies that build economic growth and address a range of social needs, including education, health, social protection, and job opportunities, while tackling climate change and environmental protection. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development provides a global blueprint for dignity, peace, and prosperity for people and the planet now and in the future. The Sustainable Development Goals adopted by the UN member states are the 17 thematic areas, also known as global goals to transform the world. The goals are as follows. Goal number 1, no poverty. Goal number 2, zero hunger. Goal number 3, good health and well-being. Goal number 4, quality education. Goal number 5, gender equality. Number 6, clean water and sanitation. Number 7, affordable and clean energy. Number 8, decent work and economic growth. Number 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure. Number 10, reduced inequality. Goal number 11, sustainable cities and communities. Goal number 12, responsible consumption and production. Goal number 13, climate action. Goal number 14, life below water. Goal number 15, life on land. Number 16, peace and justice, strong institutions. And lastly, goal number 17, partnerships to achieve the goals. The impact of these goals on global sustainable development will largely depend on the world's ability to transition to new governance for sustainability that recognizes the roles and responsibilities of local and substantial government. I hope now all of you must have been clear that what are sustainable goals and which goals are included within the sustainable goals of development by the UN. Now, a little brief introduction about our organization. Creative Writing Modern Age is a small initiative of Mrs. Rachna Chakraborty, who wants to make communication as a blender, and hence it works to develop the speaking and writing skills of everyone. We here believe that to be a perfect man, one needs to listen, speak, and write. And to initiate that, we conduct free webinars inviting eminent authors, poets, storytellers to share their valuable tips and develop the love for language. We have been successful as we have in our short span of 3 years and have been able to train more than 1,000 plus kids. Creative Writing Modern Age has events like Literary Contest, Battle of Words, Storytelling Live, Cosmopoetica, and also the Best Writer of the Month, and many more. We have a yearly book which gives everyone to be a co-author. So, as you all know, our group has been doing quite a well since long time, and those who have you not joined or not liked or subscribed to our group, I would just request you all to go to your Facebook pages and search for CWMA and subscribe and like today. A little note for our dear speakers for today. Please humbly note and view the perspective of each speaker is important and valuable. But this being a time-bound event, you are requested to restrict your deliberation for 10 minutes. This is the maximum time. We will appreciate your experience, your pearls of wisdom with regard to the given topic, something that is based on experiential learning and can be applied by the audience too. PPTs, if you have prepared, are highly welcome, but they are not a prerequisite. 10 minutes of wisdom sharing at Sustainable Goal Developments is all that we are looking for in today's session. So looking forward with all our speakers for the mindful words of wisdom. Just a brief introduction about myself. I am Riya Chakraborty, co-founder of Caring and Versatile Moms and Daughters, CVMD. Now, without taking much time, I would like to move ahead by starting today's event by inviting our first speaker from Sri Lanka, Mr. Nathula Versange. Nathula, the mic is all yours.
clean water and sanitation. It's a basic and essential part of human beings. So, hello everyone. Good evening from the Sri Lanka. Sustainable Development Goal 6 about the clean water and sanitation. So, ladies and gentlemen, this factor is very essential and very needed basic needs for human beings who live in this beautiful earth. But a lot of people don't have any services and facilities. In my country, it's me, Sri Lanka. There are a lot of poor people and they haven't any facilities and services and clean water to drink. And in the present, people are buying drink for clean water. But many people polluted this clean water in the past. So in the present, we have the drink, also polluted water. We haven't any clean water drink. But they never could remember that they polluted this water in the past. Sandy is also a very essential factor for human beings, but that fact also don't have a lot of people. Africa is an example for that. In Africa, there are a lot of peoples and there are a lot of countries also. And people who live there, a lot of are poor. So they don't have any sanitation services and clean water drink. So in Africa, there are a lot of people are dying also. So United Nations create this goal for people who live in this beautiful earth. So United Nations think this goal will be success in the 2030 also. Whatever, there are various ways to follow this water. By smoke released from factories and vehicles, by garbages, by chemicals, cars to reverse water tanks, like things. Worldwide, we have 0.012 drink, bath, and do various things to use this water and also consume to humans and animals. Did you remember last 2 years we suffered from COVID-19 pandemic also? And that period also we need all sanitation facilities and clean water drink and wash our hands like that things. We need that. But in that time also, people haven't any clean water drink and wash hands and sanitation facilities also. So they complained to the World Health Organization. So then the World Health Organization supplied all needs that need for people who live in that countries. And they become happy and they have all things that need there. So in that way, that goal also success. But in that way also, a lot of questions are finished. But I don't say totally questions are finished. But 50% questions are there. And in the present also, children are dying because of non-sanitation facilities and clean water drink, like a lot of things. So in the present, children mortality rate is going the fastest rate because of drinking polluted water and in sanitation factories do their works in day-to-day life. So I want to say we have a lot of resources. So we have to save them and give all supplies that need for people who live in this beautiful earth. Thank you very much.
That was really wonderful, Nithila. I would really acknowledge that the way you have presented your speech is really, really very impactful. The way you have presented your thoughts, it's really something to take a note of. So yeah, very much appreciate your delivery, the way you have delivered your content. And yeah, I do agree, and I do, second the notion which the UN has put forward that clean water and sanitization is something which everybody deserves, not needs, deserves. Like there are countries, Africa and all the underdeveloped countries, who are, who struggle to just get that basic commodity of life, that's clean water. And that is something which we all together as a nation, as a community, as a family need to work forward to. So yeah, I agree to what you have said and really appreciate the way you have delivered your content, you delivered your speech. So,
Thank you.
huge round of applause for Nithula. Now we'll be moving to our next speaker, Ambassador Noor Ahmed. He's from Bangladesh, and I just can't wait to hear to his thoughts on the same.
Well, thank you so much. And yes, I'm also so much excited from the very beginning day till now, and will be the end as well. So yes, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of the people who have joined from the different parts of the world today. And I'm really eagerly waiting for my turn today. Yes, of course, we have been learning so many things from our youngster, and they are the ultimate power of the world, because this youth can change the world with some decorative manner. So let's talk about today's topic. As we all know, the SDG 6, there's a clean water, sanitation, and hygienic. You know, uh, I try to start my speech with you guys' way, like story. Otherwise, it would be very informative discussion. Okay, so my friend, I will share my three friend story, and one of my friend who live in the hill tracks area, who invited me to visit their place, and I have visited their place, and I have I had seen that so many beautiful atmosphere over there. Lot of natural beauties are over there. Not lot of natural resources are over there, but even I have found there's several crises also over there. And if you consider that, what are those crises, even though having such a natural beauty place? First and most important, there is clean water. And another one is sanitation. So maybe you're considering that, is it only happen in only the Hilltex area? No. Water and sanitation access remain a challenge in how to reach some areas like hill region that I shared earlier, river in Ireland, you may say char, swamp area, tea garden, even for the excluded or marginalized group, such as urban slum and pavement dwellers and refugees. You know, Bangladesh also have some refugees, the Rohingya refugees. So they have been suffering from the water and sanitation. You know, for the climate change and the natural disaster, this continued the challenge existing waste technology. Most of we are thinking that, is it very concern only for my country? No, this is happening for some part of the South Asian country and the African nation mostly. And most of we are thinking that we have considered that what is water excess. So my question is to all of you, that what is water excess? Is it mean that I have enough resources to keep the water and I have availability of water? The answer is no. Water excess is remain that water must be also safe, attainable, and affordable. This, if you consider the more specifically, that is, it's also come from the reliable sources like well, tap, or hand pump. Also, it's come from free from chemical contamination. It's readily available at least 12 hours a day, and it's also located on the premise or within the reasonable reach. So, is it still happening? So, I'm giving a small survey information that at the given time, 30 to 40% of the rural water supply is low-income country doesn't work. I repeat once again, 30 to 40% of rural water supply in low-income country like Bangladesh and some other South Asian country, it doesn't work. If we are not actually using the 30 to 40% water and do some recycle and some other things. So how can we actually focus that we can be able to ensure the wash technology in our country? So this would be another burning issue for low-income country. Excuse me. So some other factors also there, because there are some resources, because there are some of the problem of transportation. Like you have a water resources, but the transportation system is not so good. So how can you transfer? How can people get access to the water? There's some other things also happening there. So in this perspective, what will be the ultimate solution? Maybe you're considering that what will be the solution? Government will take some necessary steps to take this resources. No, government can't take only the some footprint to solve this issue. No, it should be collaborative action with the government, with the public sector, with the private sector, even some stakeholders. They can work together to ensure the water access to all the people. They can reserve the water, they can recycle the water. Even for the urban area, you can use the rain harvesting is another key point, rain harvesting. You can also this kind of a way to make sure that water is accessible to all the people. So I have shared that my friend from Hilltrex also face some water, scarcity of water access and sanitation. But do you know, you are from Africa, you are from India, you are from Sri Lanka and some other countries. Most of we have been suffering flood every single day. We can't stop the flood, but we can take some measurement regarding that. Some of my friends who live in the riverine area, they have been suffering every single year for some certain time. They're not accessible to get a great sanitation that time. Even some of the deep rural people also not having the sanitation facilities as well. So I'm giving you another survey information that is 2 billion people still don't have the basic sanitation service. I repeat, 2 billion people still don't have the basic sanitation services, while 673 million people practice open defecation. That is very burning. So how can we ensure the healthy life? If 673 million people still practice open defecation. So we have to think about that. How can we access to sanitation to make sure that it is accessible to all the people who have been suffering from every single time or every single year? Because without take a basic sanitation service, people have no choice but to use the inadequate communal latrine, and that I shared earlier, to practice open defecation as well. So what will be our action? Yes, government will definitely take some action, and some of the stakeholders take the action. But we, like youth, we, like the community people, how can we do that? It requires much more money. Yes, some of the part is required, but if we work together, we can able to mitigate this amount crisis. Okay, so how can we do that? We can mobilize our community. That this is the way you can use some of your practice about the sanitation process. If you do this kind of way to wash your hand, it also help you as well. If you focus this kind of places where you can build a very low amount, by low amount, you can build a latrine, which is very healthy for all the people to use. So you can also focus on how can they do that. There is some other way we can mobilize our community. And you also build a market for the sanitation goods and services. Because of what? For the scarcity of sanitary goods and services, the ultimate seller make the huge price of those goods and services. if we make some availability of sanitation goods and services shop, I think it would be very easy to get access, as well as price will definitely decrease. Even government can also not impose the tax on this sector as well. So it would be very accessible for all the people who can able to build a latrine for their healthy purpose. And yes, that I shared earlier, partner with the government to plan and finance a sanitation service, it would be another healthy issue and a healthy way. So let's talk about another one and go to the another story. My friend, whoever joined from Africa, because I have some network in the African nation. So some of my friends who are from Kenya went shared that, Brother Noor, I have been, can you please make a donation for our community? I just replied them, why? What's the reason behind that? They just shared that, okay, actually our community don't have the resources enough to take some reasonable action for hygienic, sanitation, some other perspective. Even some of the schools still don't have the wash facility. So it would be very great to, if you mitigate some resources. Okay, so this is kind of happening every single low income country. So, better hygienic leads to health, better confidence and overall growth. So good hygienic is very critical for preventing the spread of infection diseases, So what we have to do, before I'm sharing some information, that I will give you another survey information that 3 billion people don't have hand washing facility with water and soap at home. What a burning information. 3 billion people don't have hand washing facilities with water and soap only. Look, and almost half of the school lack of the hand washing facility with water and soap, while 818 billion school-age children also faces this kind of problem. This is another massive and very burning question to all of the people. What we are doing right now, even roughly, if you consider that approximately 32% of the healthcare facility lack hand hygienic facility at points where patients are treated. For the patient take caring purpose, we have to maintain 100% hygienic. But why are the 32% healthcare facility actually are not available in the patient level? Wow. So we have to ensure this. So how can we ensure this? We have to, same as before, that we have to consider the local government. We have to take some necessary steps to share that this way we can make some awareness to the community, and we can collaboratively report to the community government, and the community leader or government will definitely and try to ensure those with the collaborating with the government and some other stakeholders. Okay. So last but not the least, another one, I'm sorry, I take more maybe much time, but trust me, it's a great information because everything should be highlighted. Otherwise, we cannot imagine that this is information actually happening toward the world. Last, this is another story, but I'm not going to do that in story because it is my time is consuming much. There is menstrual hygiene. Most of my sister, most of my loving relatives, actually all of parts of the women in around the world, they actually still facing some of the issues regarding this because still not community give this kind of access to share their words. Even our sister, our women are not able to share their some other problem regarding their menstrual hygiene without their family members. So how can we actually ensure this? You know what? For this reason, most of the students who have been facing this menstrual hygiene problem, they actually leave their school, leave their study, even they are really feel insecure when this happening in their life. So as you all know, this is the part of our life. So we have to think about, we have to consider about, even we have to taking some measurement and taking some precaution action within this due time, what we have to do. You know, most of the cancer happening because of the low graded cloth is using in the time of menstrual hygiene. So there's a four keys. So how can we improve the menstrual health and hygiene? Number one, that adequate social support. Please don't make it that menstrual hygienic concept is a still cultural taboo. This is not a culture taboo. It's our health, another part of our health. So we have to think about and take some adequate measurement for the social support that this is a part of our health. Another one, we have to make the community by sharing the information to make them knowledgeable and skillful that this happening, this is the way they can take some action, this is the way they can do when this is happening, and some other way. We can share all together throughout training, through some chit chat, so social medias and some other conference as well. So we can give the facilities and services. My dear, all the honorable and the excellency around the world, most of the low income or underprivileged people don't have the money to buying a pad for is in the time of using their menstrual time. But how can the underprivileged people can afford that? Okay, there is some technologies happening, but there is some way that you can use them clean water. You can use this by recycling, by wash those clothes, and you can use it a number of times. But you have to use some proper cloth, not some cloth that was not that much hygienic at all, because some of the cancer happening for this way. And then not last but not the least, that access to affluent materials and supporting supplies in affordable way. So if we consider all the things regarding the menstrual hygienic, and it is very affordable and available for the people, even for the underprivileged people, I think this kind of problem, and we can ensure the menstrual hygienic in the proper way. So I have talked too much. I'm so sorry for that, but let's bring together and take some action by today and from this conference, because if you are youth, if you are age, it doesn't matter. If you are youth, you can take action right now. So maybe you are asking that, how can I take my action? Okay, you are a space master. Most of the speaker, as I've experienced or observed, that they are a space master. Even they can talk something to some form topic. So they can make some speech. Even they can make some video. They can make some measurement and take some ultimate action that how can we do that, and try to post it all the things in the social medias, Facebook, Insta, Twitter, LinkedIn, and some other way. This is another way you can contribute for your community, for the people. This is not require any money to do some humanity action. So try to do right now, because you are the ultimate people who can change the world. Even most of the world leader can make the policy, make the things, but for the execution purpose, you are the part of that. So there you, thank you so much, all the hearing with patience. I'm so sorry for making this longer. And thank you so much, my dear sister and moderator, for giving me the floor. Assalamu alaikum.
That was just exceptional. I see people calling you or representing you by brother Noor, so I will use the same term then. I have seen Rashra ma'am calling you a brother Noor, so I will also call you by the same thing. So yeah, brother, no, I do agree all the points which you have said, and I would also like to bring across one more point over here, because it suddenly clicked in my mind while you were speaking and bringing all the statistical data in front of us, and revealing that what is going on. Because clean water and sanitization is not only the problem of underdeveloped countries, it's also a problem of hilly areas and mountains, where it's difficult for water to be transported or clean water to reach. So yeah, very much agree with that point. And recently I was watching a documentary on the same clean water and sanitation. So and also, just to highlight this point and why am I bringing this story or the documentary ka story in this forum, because this is a youth summit and we have all the youth coming up. I have moderated first three goals I have moderated. I've seen such small kids coming up here, sharing their views, giving speeches, preparing presentations and all this. Like, it's so much of energy going on here. So just wanted to keep this point ahead. Like, now, since we all are youth, we have the whole future in front of us, and such values, if inculcated, like this all the UN goals, all the 17 goals, if somehow we as individuals, or we as what I would say, as somebody who is responsible, or somebody who understands, even the teachers or the mentors of these students, if they are able to inculcate these goals as values in these children from now on, so that when they grow up, they are able to take these values amongst with themselves, like wherever they join. For example, I'll just bring this up, the documentary which I was speaking about. So there is we all know about Cambodia. Cambodia is the hub of textile factories. Like, all the famous textile industries, all the famous brands, I won't name the brands, but we all know, when we talk about textile, we all know what brands are famous, what are the international brands. So all those international brands the manufacturing unit is set up in Cambodia. And Cambodia is such a country where people are struggling day to for their daily bread and everything. They struggle and they grow their things. Like, it's also known for their growth, the agriculture. So I was just seeing a video, like a clip, where the textile, all the huge textile firms of all these famous companies, brands, they were set up just beside the river, the water resource, the fresh water river, which is used for agriculture. So all the all the dyes and everything which is used in the cloths and all, everything is being washed up in the river, and the water is not treated actually. Like, they release the untreated wastewater directly in the river, and that same river water is being used by the farmers for agriculture. And that same crop is being consumed by the entire population of Cambodia. So there was this research which was conducted in the same country, where all the scientists and all, they took the data, because Cambodian government is someone who does not who do not they do not agree with it. Like, they are like, we do not release wastewater anytime, like big time. It's a no for them. They take care of everything, all the checks are done, and you will not believe these the things which were being said were by the people who were youth, like people who were there in their 25 to 28 years of age, and all those like all that age group people. And when the same water was taken to US labs and they were tested over there, it was revealed that water level of azo dyes. I don't know if you all must have heard about azo dyes, and what level of mutagenic capacity it consists of, it holds of. So those dyes were present in those water, and it was to a level. Now I'm using some terms over here which might be not familiar with our young kids or the young children who are sitting there in the forum, but I think the audience which are watching us and who are understanding the need, we are talking about these SDG goals, they were to the level of bioaccumulation. So they were accumulated in the river water. So when a component reaches to the level of bioaccumulation, means it has been there in that place for a huge amount of time. So it was just heartbreaking to see the people suffering from so many skin infection diseases, so many genetic diseases, and people had no clue about it. They were just going to the healthcare units and all, getting themselves checked. But even the doctors were somewhere, everyone knows what is the problem, but nobody wants to come up to the front and acknowledge it, that what are you doing wrong. And when such companies or big brands, I'll say, are asked questions openly about it, there is a total complete denial. And I will just put this thing forward, that these things are being done by the people who, who are in their young age, or who are just in their, working phase, like 28, 35. So I feel it is something very much important. Like, it does not make sense if you just talk about it. You have to inculcate these things as a value, as a principle inside yourself, like how you inculcate the way of, communication. If I am asked to communicate with a person, I will keep in mind that, I have to be polite, I have to be humble. So these goals, the UN goals also, I think, needs to be inculcated in an individual in such a way that they take with themselves. So wherever you go, you see a tap is, a water is just flowing, a water is being wasted, you go switch off the tap and then carry on with your work. You see the sanitization is not proper, the rules are not proper for properly, they are not followed properly. So you take the initiative. You don't wait for others to do it, you just do it from yourself. Now if you go and work for a company, for a big brand, you may earn a lot of money, and then you may think that, oh, this is my job, my manager, my boss is paying me to do that, how can I go against him? You have to have that much guts to stand for the injustice, to stand for things that are not proper. So if you are in a company and you are the youth, you are going to study, you are going to get educated, you're going to reach the level of managers, you are going to reach the level of, CEO, directors, whatever. So you have to take, decisions from your end to stop the wrong things which are happening. So these goals, I'll just like to, more and more hammer on this, that it should be inculcated as a value, as a principle inside each and every child. And this will not only work by, sharing and speaking about it. This will work when the parents teach the children each and every day. When they see around themselves that something is not working, they tell their children that, hey, you need to do it like this, because these are the things which we need to follow. And if we do not follow, we are the ones who will be in danger, who will be in loss in the future. So yeah, I was really impressed with the statistics which you shared up, and just wanted to bring this documentary also, because I was really touched with the people who actually work and who actually deny are the ones who, who are youth, or so-called youth of the nation. So yeah, youth summit is very much necessary, and it is also, very much crucial for the youth to understand and inculcate these goals as a value in them.
Right.
Yep.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yes. And that you already experienced by the research, and some of the people, like, I also try to focus and try to investigate that what is happening. And trust me, if we are thinking and seeing some such a certain information, we gonna feel stuck that what is happening right now in the world. If you are belonging in a developed country, you are feeling okay, life is beautiful, all the things is available, but all the negative things you are dumped in the another low income country by giving there some donation. So is that actually the ultimate motive of the humanity? No. So how can we ensure the SDG by 2030 is really a question right now. Thank you so much for you sharing your information. And yes, we have to do action right now. We have to have our own guards to think about something for the humanity and the people who are actually been suffering. Thank you.
Correct. Agreed. Absolutely. So now I would like to call upon our last speaker from Romania, Piui Antonia, will be also sharing her views on clean water and sanitation. So Piui, the mic is all yours.
Water and elixir of life. SDG 6, September 2022, International Yogurt Summit, India. We, Antonia, Romanian, Vocational Pedagogic High School, Bayush. Hi, my name is Antonia. I will present SDG 6 Clean Water and Sanitation Objective of SDG 6. Achieving universal and equitable access to safe and affordable drinking water for all. Improving water quality by reducing pollution, eliminating landfill, and minimizing hazardous chemicals and materials. Protecting and restoring water-related ecosystems, including mountains, forests, wetlands, rivers, and lakes. Toxic foam pollutes India's sacred Yamuna River. The Yamuna, along with India's holiest river, the Ganges, are considered among the most polluted in the world. Yamuna has ecologically dead. Sage from Delhi and other cities, chemical waste from manufacturing plants, pesticide runoff are all the problem. Thanks.
That was really sweet, and I'm really touched up. You brought upon Ganges, which I don't think any of us talked about in today's forum, because that is also one more crucial topic which everybody should take into consideration and bring into highlight. The rivers across our countries, they are getting polluted day by day, and you can see I'll give an example. I was recently creating a content or write up on the river pollution, the river water pollution, and recently there is as you rightly brought upon, Antonia, the river Yamuna, the one which flows from our country, from India. We were able to see a massive amount of froth being formed, and that froth being come upon the roads. It's reaching the roads and blocking traffic, due to which lot of accidents and all were occurring. So this was a burning topic of discussion in India past few years. So yeah, this is something which people just see, they discuss about it, talk about it, and just ignore, let it go. So this is also something that we do not let it go. If we are seeing such a problem, we come to a conclusion that how to solve it. People just talk about it and they just let it go. They just and then again next year they talk about the same problem, but the problem is never solved, and the people are the one who suffer. They are the base, because people are everything. Humans are resource. If humans are not there, then we can't do anything. So as humans, we should take a responsibility to discuss, first identify the problem, go to its roots, and then search for solutions how to solve this problem, not leave it there. So yeah, Antonia, I'm very much happy that you brought upon the topic of river pollution. Yeah, so that was really awesome. Now I would like to take some inputs from our conductor, Professor Rachna Chakraborty. Ma'am, like would you like to share something about today's event? How did you feel all the talks, all the points which we have come across while discussing clean water and sanitation? What are your thoughts, ma'am? Would like to hear those.
Yeah, hello. Actually, there's a lot of festive season going on. Uh, so we have the Navratri celebration and music is all around. So I had to close the windows to cut off with that music. So yeah, of course, today's topic was the greatest need of an hour. As we saw our delegates, as eminent speakers, the youth as well as the experienced ones have spoken about very widely about it because that's the need of an hour. If we do not have clean water, then what do we give to our civilization? How can we progress without the clean water? So it is really necessary that we need to have this clean water. Without that, we cannot have any sort of development or progress. So several points were brought around, which were very, very important. We had our first speaker who spoke very vividly about importance of water and the condition, the social condition. Being a country, poor country, or a rich country depends on the water resource. If the water is not proper, then we do not get for the farming or the vegetation water. But when we talk about clean water, that becomes more eminent because around, we can say more than 50 to 60 percentage in every country, mostly, very fairly rate enough that people mostly live on water. Their diet surplus is very less. So at the end of the day, they drink a glass of water and go to sleep. So if that water also is unhygienic, how can we expect the civilization to survive on for further, the development? So it is very, very important that the rivers, the sources of the water, is kept clean. If the sources are not kept clean, then obviously we will have this water problem. And I would also like to here say that Brother Noor had brought around another very important, the menstrual hygiene problem. And this is there very much in the schools where we see the girls, they are dropouts of the school because of this problem. They feel insecure to go to school in the special days. They do not trust the sanitation. If we do not have this clean water and sanitation in the schools, they are frightened to go on those special days. As a result, the girls' education is also going down. If we do not work on that and give them this security that even in these days, they will have the proper toilets, the proper washroom where they can comfortably use, and as a result, they will be more comfortable to go out to schools even on the special day. So it's very important. These are small, small things which, if our youth is realizing, they will understand that why we are stopping our education for such factors. We need to work on that and we need to come out of it. And if we can do that, like for example, defecating in the opens, which is quite common in the villages. We can see mostly, especially talking about India, wherever we go, because the government has not kept any such restriction. So we see that the urination is done openly everywhere, which is actually making the water still. So near the rivers, near the lakes, or near the small drainage system. So this has to be stopped. We cannot just turn our eyes. We need to, hey, come on, what are you doing here right now? We need to step ahead instead of stepping behind. It is not the right place, and if we cannot do that, we cannot have proper education, proper gender equality, all this will go at a toss if our sanitation and water, clean water is not provided. So it is very important. We need to speak more and more. And today I'm really happy to hear from the youth. I myself have been speaking a lot about all the SDG goals. My desire was to listen from the youth. And I'm very happy that my moderator today too spoke very nicely and took out some very, very important point, which is done by the youth and the chemical factory, which and they do not agree to that. The strangest part of it is that they don't accept for a change. Of course, there might be some problems happening, but there is always a chance for change. And if we do not change now, then when? It's a time for action. We are deliberating. We are talking about it. But that's okay. We are talking and trying to know about all the points. But more than that, we need to do it in action. We need to remind the people who are defaceting in open that you government has given grants to make washrooms or bathrooms available. So why has it not reached? Very few people know that the government has given grants for bathrooms or washrooms, but the villagers do not even know about it. So we need to make them aware. Small NGOs or institutes should go and tell that the money is lying there, it will be misused by the public if you all don't use it. So these are the small, small things which our youth can do. For that, we do not need money. Money is not needed, only awareness, putting some sort of awareness in the public that you have all this, the government also has given, but it has not reached you. So you need to approach the government that you need a common washroom or a public washroom here so that the cleanliness can be maintained. Sanitation is a must because the water, deep-acidated water, goes to the rivers, the ponds, the lakes, which then evaporates and comes down as rainwater. And as a result, we have acidic rains, which comes from the factories and industries. And there are so many more things which is happening because of this one problem. Now, what is needed is that we need to make the water very clean. How will we make it clean? It is all upon us. We need to see the resources of the water from where it is coming. If that is clean, then obviously we can have clean water resource. And I'm really happy to hear from Antonio also, who had spoken about the Ganges and the rivers, the river water here. It is very important to know about what is happening in our prime river sources, which is the main origination of the water resource. So we all have to be aware to some extent, and I'm happy to see that our youth already is aware. And of course, Netula from Sri Lanka has also spoken some very important pointers. It's always remarkable to listen to such speakers. And as Brother Noor had already said, that yes, we need to deliberate it with the youth today. And the youth is a youth when you can only speak out your or voice out your emotions, your thoughts, your process, and your feelings about certain topics which is very much disturbing you. So you need to speak out, and then only you are a youth. So a youth can be anyone who can only voice out their thoughts. So thank you so much, Ria. Over to you. And it was wonderful listening to you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, Ria, for making it wonderful. So over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. That was so sweet of you for mentioning me. It was just a pointer which came upon my mind when I was hearing to the speakers sharing their views. And I thought this was something which, people, most of us, we do not spend much of the time watching documentaries. In our free time, we usually read some books or watch movies nowadays. Gone are the days we used to watch documentaries on such topics, but I am the one the one nerdy person who goes up and googles up such documentaries on water pollution, air pollution. So yeah, and this was a very good research which was conducted by the scientist, and it was like worth a watch. So I thought it would be really great to share it with the youth, since I see so many kids sitting up over here. And if any one child from here inculcate even a single goal, no, I'm not talking about the 17 goals, even a single goal they inculcate within themselves, take it with them throughout their life, then that would be something, our time must be it would be worth a while, worth a try. So yeah, I'm very much happy to be a part of this summit too, and was very, very inspired and very much moved by the words of all our speakers, Nathula, Antonia, and Brother Nu. I see Sachini being with us since the start of the event. So Sachini, what would you like to share some views of yours, like how did you feel about today's event?
Thank you, Ria. Actually, I was listening to all of them, and a lot of facts-filled day today from the beginning itself. Actually, I have stated in the chat box as well about your explanation about the garment factories around the world. Actually, I would like to add another point. Here in Sri Lanka, it has been implemented as a rule when you are building a garment factory or a textile factory, you have to have a treatment plant in the plan. Otherwise, they won't approve the plan. So there are such things also that governments have implemented from their ends. So as people, we also have to support them as well. Otherwise, they can't compose to work alone to build the nation. So that is really important, because even from the like being in the South Asia region, we all are agro-based countries. So fertilizers, these pesticides, insecticides, all of these are also going to the waterways, natural waterways. So that is also a big problem, because we only have 1% from the 71% of water that is available in the world. So it is really important, the topic that we spoke today. I really wasn't expecting this much of facts, but it is really good, Ria. Thank you so much for giving me also time to speak.
Awesome, awesome. That's great. Yeah, I do agree. There are plants and everything which are being set up, the wastewater treatment plant, everything is at place. But if it's followed or not, if all the treatment processes, because we know how many stages of treatment, how many steps a water needs to go through to be released or in the river bodies. So also those, if those steps are being followed, because everything is there, our government, as brother Noor, I would also like to highlight one more point. Government is taking steps. It is not like that government is totally neglecting, but it is on us as youth, as people who are there in the process, who are there in the system, to follow each and every step, just not to skip and see what are we gaining for it. Just don't think about ourselves, because there are a lot of people who think that what will they get from it, what is their benefit. So that's what, like, you will gain your goal ka accomplishment, your goal will be accomplished. One UN SDG goal, a clean water goal will be accomplished. That should be what people should be seeing, not how much money they get or how much salaries they get at the end of it. So yeah, it was very awesome. Today's forum was very insightful, and I will be looking towards more such insightful forum coming forward. And yeah, so this will be all about today's forum. I hope everyone who are with us live on the YouTube channel and who will be watching this forum live on Facebook too will enjoy it and will be able to share their thoughts with us. I would like to hand over the mic now to Professor Rachna for sharing her vote of thanks, and would like to end this forum with that. All over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ria. Yes, it was indeed an amazing session and a lot of takeaways with eminent speakers and ambassadors joining. And we had a lot of learning today, and it was really wonderful. Of course, all the other days also. Today is day 4, and I think day 4 or day 5. Today is day 5 of the event. First day was 3 goals, then 2, 3. Today is day 4 of the, because we had the first 3 goals together, and then we took it all single. Then it was like a series of speakers coming in from the countries across. We have from Sri Lankan especially, and of course today we had Romania, and more speakers from Romania will be joining us soon. And we are going to have a thunderous streamline of speakers and a lot of takeaways and learnings from these kids. They are the kids, but they are the speakers and the opinions of tomorrow. So thank you, each one of you, for joining. And thanks to Ria for moderating it very nicely. And I know that you all are very busy, including Sichini and Brother Noor. And you all have taken out your time to delegate and speak and inspire the youth of tomorrow, because you are the youth yourself and you have been inspiring and motivating. And I'm sure that more such youth would love to deliberate listening to you all. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining. It was a wonderful session, and every day we have such wonderful sessions. Tomorrow again, hoping to see you all same time and the same place, of course, our Zoom room. And don't forget to put some comments in our YouTube channel wherein a speakers are speaking in so brilliantly. I have shared the link in the chat box also. You can take the link and forward it, and obviously put some comments there. We would enjoy seeing some comments from you all, even in our YouTube channel, because that will make us easy to take out the best speaker. We will have a surprise best speaker mention in the end, that is the 17th SDG. So it is not age restricted. Everyone is in the open forum here. So everyone is there to be given that this opportunity to pick up and become the best speaker. So thank you so much, everyone. Excuse me. So I think with that, we can end the session. If only our kids would like to say something as an ending note, you can raise your hand. I can see utilizer. I don't see your name. Your name in the Zoom, this thing is utilizer from Romania. Would you love to say something as an ending note? Since you have joined, I think tomorrow you are a speaker, or anybody else would love to give an ending note before we end the session. Yes, Natula would love to give. Yes, Natula, please.
Thank you, Rachana. First, I thank you for CLW for conducting this International Youth Summit. And I get so many things from this summit also, because this is a wonderful and amazing program for us. And my sir, Mr. Sampannaratna, give this chance for me for joining this and say about the clean water and sanitation is main goal 6 of the United Nations. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Ria, can we close it? Over to you. Okay, brother Noor wanted to say, Ria, over to you.
Well, thank you so much, my dear sister and my dear moderator, sister, and so many beautiful and emerging youngster. Thank you for being part of this conference. And yes, of course, every single day, there is a lot of things to take away. Try to grab some cards, some other points. And if you are missed, you can even watch the YouTube video recorded as well. So be the change maker and try to show your footprint for the humanity. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I think, ma'am, now we can close the forum. After such an energetic and wonderful, insightful experience, we can now just come to a conclude the today's forum and put an end to it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Antonio from Romania, and for joining us. And thank you, Netula and Sichini. All of you, thank you very much for joining and giving us your time. Tomorrow, don't forget to join us for yet another goal number 7. And again, budding speakers and amazing people with our another amazing moderator will be there back with you and to deliberate it on this platform, Creative Writing Modern Age, with the students from Romania, from Sri Lanka, from Bangladesh will be joining us tomorrow. So on that note, stay safe, drink clean water, and use proper sanitation. And if you don't have it, please do speak it out and say that you don't have the proper sanitation so that the government can do something about it. So thank you. Stay healthy, stay safe. Bye-bye from Creative Writing Modern Age.